In episode 202, we covered the new Wonder Woman and Justice League trailers straight out of San Diego Comic-Con 2016.
We also have some news on the new Sonic game, Sonic Mania. Is it what we thought it was going to be? We'll find out soon.
We also got to see on opening night, Batman the Killing Joke, full of extra scenes, all kinds of controversy.
All of this and much more on today's show.
Hello and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, giving you the reasons we're broke every week, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
For any new listeners out there, the way we format the show is first we cover some news, and then we follow up with a comic book highlight or two of the week. This week we do have two of them.
I did have a pretty exciting week, though. I do have something that I would like to share with Brokettes. So, earlier this week, I was outside walking my dog in the dead of night, and there was something by my foot rattling, probably trying to kill me. And I look to my darling husband, who should be next to me trying to save me, and he's halfway down the street, missing a sandal because he ran too fast and it fell off.
First off, it was not a rattling.
It was a rattling.
It was not a rattling. It was a fluttering of giant wings at night that we could not see.
Doesn't even matter. You left me and the dog to die.
You didn't even panic. Like, you looked back. I was like, okay, she's not scared. I am fucking gone. You're the one that walks by giant wasps, walks by the killer cicada wasp killers. You just walk right by those fucking things, hornets. And this one, you just kind of look down back at it, and I'm like, oh, she's not going to be scared. I'm fucking leaving. I was like a dust cloud, like in the cartoon.
Yeah, and I could have died. What if that thing had bit me and I just dropped dead?
Well, then you run too. That's what I got confused at. You did not run either.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I have to center myself and think, where is this coming from? Because I could run right into it.
Oh, I knew where it was coming from somewhere below us. And as I ran, the loudness of the wings did not
follow you.
It sounded like it was because
but
it did not get any lower. You. It did not get any lower.
It was your fear, just assuming that all bugs always follow you. You tell me all the time, like, these things chase me, and I run away. And I'm like, yeah, they probably don't really chase you.
They do chase me.
Pretty sure they don't chase you. Anyway, the moral of the story is, when it comes to a life or death situation, Daniel will let me and our beloved dog Ace just die.
Yes, when it comes to giant bugs, I am fucking gone.
You're just gonna let me die.
So what did it end up being? Like a cicada bug?
I don't even know. I just saw something big flapping its wings. The dog probably just got too close to it and it freaked out, and so it was warning us.
If I had to guess, now that I'm calm and we're away from it, it was probably a dragonfly. Like,
it
just
wasn't.
a dragonfly dot.
It wasn't. It was like a big fat bug. Like, it looked like that bug from Pokemon. The one that turns into, like, the round cocoon thing. Ninjask or whatever. That's what it looked like.
So it was probably a cicada.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a cicada. Well, yep. Now you know.
And you just tried to let me die. Like, you would have thrown me on the bug and ran, I'm pretty sure. That is essentially what you just did.
And you would have been a hero, because you would have killed the bug.
No, I would have died.
You would not have died.
Yes, I would have. I could have died. You don't know.
How come in this case, in which I don't react any differently than I would, and you react differently this time, now it's a bad thing?
Because I am a woman, and this is what I've decided the situation will be.
Because it's the most convenient to make me look terrible.
Yes. You were the one who ran and left me to die.
I was fucking gone. You and the dog. I'm like, oh, fuck this.
Fuck you too.
You've also been catching up on Game of Thrones. You watched the entire season 1?
Most of it. I think I missed an episode somewhere, so it's really weird with the DVDs, because you put them in and there's 4 discs. And so, like, disc 1 is 3 episodes, and disc 2 is 3 episodes, and disc 3 is 2 episodes, and disc 4 is 1 episode. I don't know. It's something weird like that. And then I always forget what episode I'm on, because the episodes are so long that I feel like one episode is 7. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I'll click ahead, and I've seen some of season 1, so then I feel like I know what's going on. Anyway, moral of the story is I started the first episode of season 2, and then I fell asleep.
How have you been liking Game of Thrones overall? Is it worth the hype? I've seen all of the first season.
And I've heard the first season is the worst, and once you get to the second, that's when it starts picking up. And I'm really interested in the characters. My only hesitation with I mean, TV in general is when it's something that I'm invested in, I have to sit and watch it. I can't be doing anything else. I just have to sit there and watch it. So to find not only time to plug in the show and try and catch up on it, and then having nothing else to do except, like, you know, to devote all my attention to that and try and keep up because it is such a drama-filled show. It's exhausting to watch. So I really just kind of have to be in the mood. But there's some storylines that I really enjoy following, but of course we're skipping around. So it's like, can you give me just that story?
And if any of you brokeheads have not seen Game of Thrones, trust me, you will have a friend that wants to let you borrow all of the fucking seasons.
Yes.
Every single one. They'll probably watch it with you. It doesn't matter. It's the same with Walking Dead. I've had so many people offer like, oh yeah, I'll let you borrow. No, I don't want to watch Walking Dead. I don't want to watch any more Game of Thrones. I've seen all of season 1, and that's because my buddy Clayton and I we sat down and we just saw it all because he's like, we're going to watch all of this. So now I have zero interest in that. And you're saying that this is what people are saying the worst season. So it's got that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing going on where it's like, well, you just have to get to the Winter Soldier episodes and then it gets better. I don't want to have to get through half a season just for a show to get better. I don't want any of that. I give a show maybe 3 episodes and then I'm done.
Something that we've given many episodes, though, and it just continues to get better and better, is Voltron Legendary Defender.
We're not really Voltron fans, are we?
We are now. What you talking about? Not really Voltron fans.
We're Voltron Legendary Defender fans. Like, you give us the classic one, and I'm like, it's not. Where's the girl?
Shh, Danny, stop it.
Spoilers.
Don't say spoilers. Now they know it's a spoiler.
I'm sorry. Someone dies, and they're replaced with a girl.
Stop! What are you saying? Oh, you're gonna have to cut all this out.
I'm not cutting anything. Voltron Legendary Defender has been renewed for a 2nd season, scheduled to debut later this year.
The 11-episode first season debuted on June 10th on Netflix, and so far has earned a 100% positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
100% from the studio that brought you The Legend of Korra, and from the producer of Green Lantern, the animated series. Is it as good as those shows? Is it up there with Legend of Korra or Green Lantern, the animated series? And we haven't even finished this bitch. We're like 3 episodes away.
Is it as good as the animated series? No, because nothing will ever be as good as
Green Lantern, the animated series?
Oh, Green Lantern, the animated series.
Producer of Green Lantern, the animated series.
Oh. I think it's up there with both of those shows. I don't think... the only downside is, so like with Green Lantern and Korra, we had investment in the characters already going into those shows. We didn't with this show. But they've done a lot to get us invested in those characters.
Which is probably the harder thing to do, is to, one, hook the viewers to care about any of these characters, whether they're villains or heroes, and then drag them along for the rest of the season. And so far it's done its job, and I really can't wait for season 2. People are reacting really positively to the first season.
Good.
And it's doing really well, and I'm glad that the studio got a 2nd season. Hopefully this means a budget jump as well, so the animation gets a little bit better.
Oh, it's fine.
It's fine for a Netflix exclusive, I'll say that. Right now it's Legend of Korra Book 4 quality.
That's fine. Whatever. We still watched it too.
We weren't sure what was going to get Sonic the Hedgehog back on the map, back on the good graces of gamers everywhere, a very fickle crowd. And it turns out that we do have a trailer to what Sega's Sonic team has provided and what will provide and hopefully deliver next year.
This is a 2-minute trailer, which I was not expecting. That's a pretty long trailer. And I watched the trailer. I did. You didn't even ask me to. Look at me going above and beyond.
Yes.
It starts out, and I really enjoyed this trailer, and it's going through essentially the history of Sonic, because we're on how many years? What is this anniversary for them?
I want to say like 20 or 25 years.
25, I think is what it said. So it's going through this 25, and you get to see little clips of all the different Sonic games, and then they rewind it all, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? Why is Sonic going backwards? That's not the way he runs.
He never goes back.
He never goes backwards. He only goes forward at the speed of sound? Light?
Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude.
I don't even know what that is.
He's the fastest thing alive.
You look constipated while you're singing because you're trying to hit those high notes. Anyway, Sonic goes backwards and they reveal what this new game is. They are going back to the 2D roots with a retro-style title.
This title is Sonic Mania, out for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC next year.
That's amazing. We talked earlier that this a few episodes ago that this is what they would need to revitalize, to bring people back, and I think it's going to do exactly that.
Yeah, and I was way more cynical, and I still am about this, because I said if they can do anything, it's to do something more classic like Sonic the Hedgehog from the Genesis, and even then, I'm not sure, and I'm still not sure if people will bite and if this will quote-unquote save Sonic the Hedgehog. I did say online later on that if anything is going to save Sonic, it's this. It's going to be Sonic Mania. If this doesn't do well, if people don't like this, that is it. They're going to have to release very sparingly, reboot once again, or try to really go super, just rely on the classics and try to release
Sonic.
those. All of that. And I don't know, if it does well, then great. It's very dangerous right now because these are essentially remakes plus. Like, they're going to have extra levels, they're going to have extra power-ups for Sonic the Hedgehog, a couple of different mechanics that I'm really excited about. And being a kid, I was a Genesis kid and not a Super Nintendo kid. I definitely had a Genesis. I loved Sonic the Hedgehog. I played the first one. I did not play the second one except at Sam's Club. That was the only place I could play it at. I had Sonic 3. Really liked Sonic 3. I had Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic and Knuckles was one of the hardest fucking things. That Egyptian level with Knuckles, hard as fuck. I always got lost in that goddamn pyramid. Sonic 3, I never beat the last boss, which was also very, very fucking difficult. Has these hands, and you have to hit right at the right spot to actually... It's incredible. Like, I just kept, like, losing the one ring and trying desperately to catch it every single time. So difficult. I never beat that. So I'm going to go at it again, as hard as it's going to be, as old as I am now, where I don't have the time to actually get good at these games anymore. Fuck it, I'm going for it. The physics may be different, and that was one of the biggest complaints with Sonic 4, is that the physics weren't exactly like Sonic Genesis. I don't care. I'm in on Sonic Mania.
And I think a lot of people are. If you think back to us now, I mean, as we are, our favorite games, if they remake them, yes, we always buy them. Pokemon Yellow came out digital only. I bought it. It's there. I've beaten the game, like, who knows how many times, still had to buy it again. If they release Pokemon Snap again, I'm gonna buy it. Like, this is how you get people reinterested in the brand. You bring back something old that they love, that they have that nostalgia for, and they're just trying to escape their fucking shitty jobs. So they're gonna plug that in and play it.
You're going to have 3 playable characters, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. I mean, it's super classic. I mean, that is the Genesis right there. I love Knuckles. I'm going to play as Knuckles. I'm going to play as Sonic. And hopefully I have a partner, someone that'll play with me as Tails. Because Tails, if Tails plays exactly like the old games, invincible. He's going to be invincible. He will be able to carry me through the levels. And,
I used to play as Tails
with
with somebody, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I was always, like, flying off the screen.
Everyone flew.
Just,
like, 'cause
bye!
you didn't even have to hit A, like, so many times to have it fly. Like, you just a couple times, once a second, then fucking Tails would be gone. And Tails was always much faster than Sonic.
Yep. Because Sonic isn't the fastest creature alive.
I guess not. Because Tails has the feet and the fucking tails to propel it forward. Probably if it had a banana peel right behind it, it would go even faster.
Did Banana Yes win? I'm pretty sure Banana
No,
Yes
it did not.
won. Pretty sure that you're lying to me.
Going back to the classic Sonic roots is not enough for some.
Of course not.
Because this brings us this week's very first Nerd Rage Reaction!
I'm going to do that noise every time forever. I don't even care that you tell me that there's already sound effects.
I gave up.
Did it really?
I know you're just going to do it.
Is it just my sound effects now?
No. There's still sound effects. And then there's your sound effects as well.
So which one's the better sound effects?
That's up to the listeners.
No. That was the wrong answer, sir. Which one is the better sound effects?
Well, yours, of course.
Thank you. Don't forget you left me to die. So what a Nerd Rage reaction is it is someone who is disgruntled on the internet. Nothing is ever good for them.
Never good enough.
Never good enough. And so they comment, and we just find it hilarious and choose to share it with all of you.
Quoting this Nerd Rager, "Who the fuck asked for this? The 16-bit years are over. I know this looks fun, but people new to the series will be like, this looks old, let's buy another game. Only 2D Sonic fans will buy this. new people will not buy this because they will look at the graphics, not like them, and choose another one. Another one, like, I guess another Sonic game is what they're referring to?
I mean, my thing is this person saying they're not going to buy it? Because they're just talking about new players, not themselves.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And it looks fun, but no.
But whatever.
That's not what games are about.
I also feel like this is also the kid whose parents didn't buy them a Sega system for Christmas. And they missed out, and all their friends played this game, and they weren't allowed to, and now they're just bitter.
I feel like this Nerd Rager is under 15, is what I feel like. Because only 2D Sonic fans will buy this. Right. That's who they're catering to, which is the crowd that grew up with Sonic. Mm-hmm. They're the ones with money right now.
Yes.
Although I do still think that they should have some form of new Sonic game out there regardless, because that Sonic 3D racing game did really well. A lot of kids really liked it. This retro-style Sonic, do you think kids will buy this? Do you think it's mainly going to go to people our age?
I think it will mostly go to people our age. I could see maybe older kids, so like 8 and up ages. And maybe they don't go out to pick it up for themselves, but their parent says, "Oh man, this game was really cool," and it's something they could actually play together. So I think I could see a lot more of that rather than I don't see younger kids going out to pick it up.
A few days after the announcement of Sonic Mania, they also released a teaser for another Sonic game coming out late next year, and people are speculating that it is Sonic Generations 2. This was delivered by Sonic Team, who have done Sonic Generations 1 and Sonic Colors, and this teaser featured modern Sonic alongside classic Sonic. I think this is the game for, okay, younger crowd, here you go, here's your 3D Sonic, the one you're used to. Anyone else, Sonic Mania is for you. So they've got 2 games next year, hitting 2 different markets, and probably the right play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully it pays off for them. We definitely, I mean, as much as we're not ginormous Sonic fans, I definitely don't ever want to see Sonic go away.
Let us know, Brokettes. Are you more excited for Sonic Generations 2 or Sonic Mania? Let us know on Twitter at ReasonsI'mBroke, Facebook.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke.
Now moving over into the big screen with some movie news. Marvel Studios' first piece of concept art for Spider-Man Homecoming reveals our first look at the Vulture.
This Vulture looks like it came straight out of the Avengers, came straight out of that universe. If this were a Sony-developed team, I feel like the Vulture would have looked completely different. Mm-hmm. And I think it looks great. I think this is a really cool Vulture. I'm glad that we're finally getting a live-action Vulture after having it been almost in Spider-Man 3 if it weren't for Venom. And now we're getting almost Vulture. Vulture would have also been the villain to the Amazing Spider-Man 3 movie that was going to be released by Sony, as well as the Sinister Six and everyone else. But now instead they're going to move him over to Homecoming. I'm sure part of that story is going to be used in Marvel Studios' Homecoming. And don't forget that this is also being developed by Sony Pictures, so it's not entirely on the Disney side.
I have seen very little of the Vulture. I think I read one arc with him in it, but he seemed like a really interesting character. So it'll be cool to see what they do with him on the big screen and hopefully tell a compelling story.
And so far, it looks like Michael Keaton will play the Vulture, just like he played Birdman, 2 years ago?
Yes.
I hope it's the same exact character.
I hope so.
Spider-Man Homecoming is set to release next year, July 7th.
So last week, we did tell you guys we were right in the middle of Comic-Con when we were recording, so we didn't have all the news for you. So moving forward, we are going to have some more news, some really, really exciting stuff for you guys. First off, Warner Brothers Television has released a Justice League action highlight clip video showcasing the animation, voice actors, and the show's tone.
Batman to Justice League. The Joker just left city limits.
The heat is on!
Before all of this, we just had that one poster from this very blurry camera showcasing the character silhouettes and a few of the character designs that we got thanks to a slideshow at another Warner Brothers presentation elsewhere. Some people were saying that the characters looked a little bit too blocky, and we said that it didn't matter what they looked like because we had Kevin Conroy as Batman, Mark Hamill as the Joker, we had classic Harley Quinn, a lot of really good stuff going for it, and now that we actually got a highlight clip, I know this is going to be a shit ton of fun.
Of course it is. Anytime you get this kind of team and the Justice League, amazing. We are so excited for it.
It looks like there's other characters in there like Firestorm as well. Swamp Thing. Fucking Swamp Thing was in Justice League Action's little highlight trailer. I'm like, fuck yes. A lot of characters they never used in Justice League Unlimited. Like, yeah, we saw a little bit of Swamp Thing, but we never actually got to really see him in action. And now with fucking Justice League Action, he's gonna be there. These episodes look to be about a 10 to 12 minute format. And that's the new format for a lot of these kids' television shows like Teen Titans Go. So they're continuing with that because that does seem to be what works. And we're going to get more ratings out of that because of the new format. You just kind of have to adapt to how people consume television.
In addition to this, Warner Brothers Animation has also announced plans for 3 new animated feature films. These are Teen Titans, The Judas Contract, Justice League Dark, and Batman and Harley.
So a little bit on each one. First, Justice League Dark is going to be a loose adaptation of the New 52 title of the same name, which starred John Constantine and a team of supernatural superheroes.
No two ways about it. We need to get close to have a chance.
I expect the worst, so I prepare for the worst.
We were able to line up Matt Ryan, who played Constantine on TV. He really was Constantine to me.
I really wanted to jump into this project to play Constantine in a different context, around some of the iconic characters that are in the DC Dark world.
There's only one thing I like about this.
I'm assuming Constantine,
Constantine! Because it's played by Constantine.
I super tricked you. I was like, that new Justice League Dark trailer came out. Do you want to check it out? And you're like, no. I'm like, okay, so you don't want to check it out at all? No, nope, not at all. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to watch it then. And it was Matt Ryan returning as Constantine.
To play Constantine.
Voicing Constantine. People want to see the return of fucking Constantine. You're going to have to watch Justice League Dark. Because there he is again, reprising his role as Constantine, which is good news for us who want a season 2 of Constantine. Because it's like, okay, just keep playing Constantine in something. And hopefully, like, keep those fucking skills sharp. Keep that portfolio building. That way you're always the definitive Constantine.
That is the only reason I will watch this show. Don't care about nobody else.
This is such a weird place you're stuck in, you, Papa Kelly, because it is the comic book Constantine, which you don't like.
Don't like him.
Voiced by television Constantine.
Love him.
So he looks like comic book Constantine.
Don't like him.
But he sounds like television
Love
Constantine.
him.
And you overall approve of this.
Yes.
Tell us why.
Because the TV show Constantine was so good. If the TV show Constantine could make me like a character that I hate, then that's when you know it's a good character.
Even as he's written, even if he's written as the comic book Constantine, you're still going to like this Constantine.
Because he will make it TV show Constantine. It doesn't matter how they write him. He's going to be like, whoa, I'm Constantine. I'm just going to say my own things. And they're going to be like, whoa, okay.
I'm just going to rewrite the thing?
Yeah, of course. But it's got Zatanna in it. I don't really like her anymore.
You don't like Zatanna?
No.
I don't feel like you ever did.
No.
I do like Zatanna.
She was okay, but then she and Batman had a thing. I think I'm jealous. I think I only want Batman to be with Catwoman, and I hate anybody else that he's with.
You hate Zatanna, you hate Talia, you hate Andrea Belmont. Oh.
I mean, that's a little bit different.
The Phantasm is okay.
Yeah.
Everyone else, though, including...
Don't like him. Lois Lane, don't like her.
Wonder Woman? For Batman?
Not for Batman, no.
It happened in Justice League.
It's Selena or nobody, man.
I like Batman and Wonder Woman.
You like Batman and like everybody. You just want to let him do whatever he wants.
He should do whatever he wants.
No, he should just be with Catwoman. They're perfect for each other.
Continuing on this trio of direct-to-video films, Teen Titans: The Judas Contract is based on the 1984 storyline by George Perez and Marv Wolfman.
If you want to go out and read where this came from, you can check out Tales of the Teen Titans number 42 through 44 and Teen Titans Annual number 3.
In this run, Robin adopts the identity of Nightwing, and the new members featured, which is Jericho, Deathstroke's son.
Is Starfire going to be in this?
Yeah, she'll be in this.
Is she and Nightwing going to be in love?
Probably. I mean, this is where all this...
This is the greatest movie of all time. But not really. But it's pretty good.
Deathstroke fans swear by the Judas Contract.
Yeah?
So if you're a Deathstroke fan, this is for you.
I kind of really want to call it the Judas Chronicles. I don't know why. I just feel like that flows a little bit better.
And this is also going to be... Oh my god, I cannot wait. I hope they don't change it. But are you ready for this?
Yes.
This is going to be the Nightwing, the original design for Nightwing. Yes.
With his mullet?
No, it didn't have a mullet. He had like the disco yellow
little
shoulder things.
They're going to change it. He's not going to.
I hope they can't change it.
No, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to have like a little montage where he's trying different costumes, and that's going to be one of them. And they'll be like, no, that's silly.
And they're going to have him put on the regular, the newer Nightwing?
Yes.
The reason I want classic Nightwing one is because I want the Nightwing fans out there to be like, oh yeah, I love Nightwing. I can't wait to see this. I heard he's in it. And then they see him and they're going to go, oh, that's not Nightwing.
Oh.
I'm like, no, that's Nightwing.
Original
Nightwing.
They're not going to put him in that costume.
Nightwing.
They're not going to put him in that costume. I'm sorry to crush your hopes and dreams. We can bet on it, but I already know I'm right, so...
What is the last movie, and probably the one I'm most excited for?
Me too. This is Batman and Harley Quinn. It will be an original story by longtime DC animation veteran Bruce Timm.
Famous for Batman the Animated Series, Batman the Killing Joke, which we're going to review at the end of the episode, Justice League Unlimited, and so much more.
That is all the news we have on this so far, but all 3 of these will be coming out in 2017.
The biggest trailer, in my opinion, to come out of San Diego Comic-Con, the best put-together trailer from that weekend was for next year's Wonder Woman film, released last Sunday worldwide.
It's Etta Candy. I'm Steve Trevor's secretary.
What is a secretary?
I go where he tells me to go and I do what he tells me to do.
Oh, well, where I'm from, that's called slavery.
I really like her.
Fantastic. Ladies, after you.
I do. I like her.
It was amazing. It got me so excited for this movie. It was beautiful. It was action-packed. It was mysterious.
It was everything. Like, it was... First off, this movie comes out June 2nd, 2017. Get your tickets as soon as you can. From the trailer alone, there were so many shots in there that I was like, holy shit, like this was shot in a way that they took their time with it. There's posing as well for all the characters, not just Wonder Woman. There's a shot of all the different soldiers where they're lining up their rifles as they're going up against Wonder Woman. I think this might be a better action movie than Batman v Superman, and I love the action scenes in Batman v Superman. But in those, there was quite a bit of CGI, a lot of moving the camera around. For this one, you can see Wonder Woman knocking out bombs, taking bullets, blocking those, using her fucking lasso of truth to take down. And those special effects looked amazing. The lasso of truth looked better in this than it did in BVS, and it could be that they fought at night, and that's why you couldn't see it as well, or there was a lot of smoke. But whatever it is, they updated the special effects for the lasso this time, and to see it in action in this way is incredible.
It looks so awesome. I think it's a movie that women are going to love, that men are going to love. I am so excited for this. They seem to be on the trend that they were with Suicide Squad, where they're just releasing the right amount at the right times, editing those trailers perfectly just to create this immense hype.
The tone was also a little bit lighter, which is going to be something that looks to be a trend with WB moving forward. There were a couple of jokes in there, and Wonder Woman being probably the most liked portion of Batman v Superman, they had to deliver, and from the looks of it, they did.
But not everyone liked this trailer, naturally.
Not everyone, no.
And by not everyone, I mean one person in the world. And this does lead us to our next Nerd Rage reaction, which reads, oh... So Wonder Woman is just the female Captain America.
Wonder Women is actually how this person wrote it. It's a Wonder Women.
Wonder Women.
I don't know who the Wonder Women are.
I don't know who they are, but I mean they must be the female Captain America.
It must be. So it might be a new character that they're introducing in this.
I think so.
The Wonder Women.
He obviously has more insight than we do.
Female Captain America. I haven't seen that one yet, so I'm not too sure what they're mad about. They're mad about something.
Something.
There's sarcasm there. But Wonder Women, is that like... I don't know, Brokeheads, if you guys know if something got solicited that we don't know about, or if you're a big Wonder Woman fan, is that like a squad within the Wonder Woman universe? Let us know on Twitter at Reasons I'm Broke. The Wonder Women, who are the female Captain America. Sure, fine. I like Captain America, so I'm in. You can have my money.
We also got our first look at Justice League, though, with a 2.5-minute trailer.
Barry Allen. Bruce Wayne.
You said that like it explains why there's a total stranger sitting in the dark in my second favorite chair.
He said he'll fight with us?
More or less.
More or more less?
Probably more or less.
He said no.
He said no.
Called that one. I said we're going to see something of Justice League.
You did. You called it.
There are like 2.5 months of filming, and they gave us something. And it does look like 2 scenes that they finished, but they compiled a trailer out of it. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a lot lighter in tone, which is what people like. We don't care either way. We like the heaviness to Batman v Superman, but the audiences did not react as well to that as they did to these trailers already.
I thought it looked really good, even from the little bit that they've had so far. We see Batman really forming, looking like he's going out and forming the team.
Yeah.
He's going and he's picking everybody up and he's like, I need a team of justice, or whatever it is that he says. We get to see Aquaman, who is so badass.
Much cooler in this than in BVS. He's not underwater. He's full of, he's surrounded by his crew.
He's full of beer.
he's an alcoholic. Like, that's the one thing that, not only is there a character that I can finally look like, but he's also in love with alcohol.
Yes.
Like, you see him in the trailer just drinking down, I don't know what, I don't think it was
probably
beer.
rum.
It was like a harder liquor. And right before he gets splashed
Whiskey,
with water.
maybe.
And he's just, I'm like, fuck yes, like, I can do that too.
I can drink and get splashed with water.
Finally, like, he likes the same things I do. We kind of look the same. And I know people on Instagram are saying, you don't look like Aquaman. You don't look anything like him. Look, I'm sorry you don't have a character that looks like you. I apologize for that. But, if you got to cut someone else down because they look like a character, then, that's up to you. By the way, if you need a double, whoever's listening, Zack Snyder, Warner Brothers, I will be there. I will fly out there on set. I will be the double to fucking Aquaman.
I will pay for my own plane ticket to get out there.
And I'm keeping my glasses on because otherwise I can't see. So you might see a scene. You guys can digitally remove the fucking glasses. That's the only thing you have to change otherwise.
This is perfect. Perfect body double right there.
Like, now that people are telling me I don't look like Aquaman, I'm like super saying like, oh yeah, no, it's super much like, you can't even tell the difference. Like, you can switch us back and forth. You really couldn't tell. Exactly. I mean,
you thought I went to work and no, it was Aquaman.
We can switch spots at any time. No one will ever notice. I will wear Jason Momoa's clothing, and to other people it may appear like it's super baggy on me. No, not to me. I look in the mirror, I'm like, nope, Aquaman right there in front of me.
Jason Momoa, there I am. Missing that little piece of my eyebrow.
Just gotta shave that little bit off.
Yep, we're good to go. This movie is set to release November 17th, 2017, way too far away.
And because it's DC Comics,
yes.
Uphill battle, as we always say.
Always.
More nerd rage reaction.
Oh my goodness.
Quote, the only thing that needs to be changed is the Flash's costume. He needs full finger gloves, not fingerless gloves. That was it. That was the fucking problem this person had.
So, I can't even say that I noticed his gloves.
I didn't even notice the gloves until they mentioned this. I'm like, really? I didn't even go back to look. You know why? Because who gives a shit?
Who cares? I don't care. I don't care what the Flash wears. He's running around stopping crime. Good for him.
The costume looks great. We haven't even talked about Cyborg, the Flash, or actually what even happened in this trailer. We talked about Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
We get
Aquaman's all that happened in this trailer.
We got that scene of Batman and Aquaman. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Aquaman does not want to immediately join the team. Probably the most difficult portion of it. We got to see Cyborg. Those special effects were the bit that people were complaining the most about. Mm-hmm. That they didn't look right. It looked a little bit off.
It did.
And it may be that they polish it up later on, or maybe that's just the way Cyborg's going to look. I mean, if you look at it, yeah, it doesn't look real. It doesn't look like there's any prosthetics at all on the actor. Like, they didn't do a Ghostbusters where they put a costume on him and then kind of fluffed them up with CGI.
Right.
And I kind of hope that they would with Cyborg. And I agree that it doesn't look fantastic, but it doesn't look awful at the same time. It still looks like Cyborg. You compare him to the comics right now on the stands, that is fucking Cyborg. The Flash's costume is red. It's the Injustice version of the Flash's costume. I mean, that is what it comes straight out of. Batman still looks like Batman. I think the costume is a tiny bit darker. But other than that, it still has the voice module. Wonder Woman still looks great. We haven't gotten a full look at Aquaman, really, and his entire gear. But we're going to get that, obviously, in Justice League.
We got to see him shirtless.
We did get to see that. We haven't seen no glimpse of Superman. And that's something I saw online was, where's Superman? I'm like, no, he's
dead.
Yeah, then you see, they're never going to bring him back ever again.
He's dead forever.
that Dirt Like Rising was actually, they were putting the movie in reverse accidentally. Because, most people thought the movie was awful, so obviously the editing was terrible too.
Yeah, clearly.
That's just an editing mistake.
I did really enjoy the little scene they showed with Batman recruiting the Flash. I thought that was a fun insight into the Flash's character, where it's like, okay, yeah, this guy's the Flash. I can see it now. The glue that's going to hold the Justice League together. There he is.
The Flash and Cyborg. Yep. Do you still miss... I mean, I don't know if you ever did, but do you care? Do you think about television Flash when you see this trailer and you're like, Barry Allen did not... I'm able to differentiate. Like, these are separate characters, different actors, different universes. This is the Flash we're getting, and it's a good Flash.
Yeah. I mean, what we've
so
seen
far,
of him. Yeah, what we've
Who
seen
knows?
of him, he's great. I mean, I love the TV show Flash. He's a great Barry Allen, but I feel... Is this Barry Allen in the movie, too?
It is Barry Allen.
I feel like he's going to be a sillier version of Barry Allen, which I'm still okay with also. Like, you can tell he's still really smart. He can figure shit out, but he's going to be that lightheartedness that this very serious team with some very strong personalities is going to need.
Instead of people still whining about how the television needs to be the same as the movie and they need to cross, how about, what if we get 2 good Flashes?
There you go.
Is that the worst thing in the world?
Oh, it's so terrible.
But it doesn't match.
But my mind can't do both.
That's what it seems like sometimes. Continuing on the San Diego Comic-Con news, more partnerships on this end. And this is from IDW Publishing and DC Comics as they continue their mashup of comics, continuing with 2 fan favorites, 2 brand new miniseries.
So first we have Star Trek Green Lantern. They're going to meet up again. And we will have Captain Kirk and the Green Lantern Corps cross paths once again this winter.
We thought the first miniseries was pretty solid. I still think it could have been done in, what do we say, like 4 issues?
Right.
Because there was a lot of fluff in there. But now that the universe is established, because this does take place outside of regular Star Trek and Green Lantern continuity, we can see what the next step is for this core that is stuck in the Star Trek universe.
We also have, and this blew my mind.
Fuck yes.
Blew my mind. Following the massive success of Batman TMNT, DC and Nickelodeon are happy to announce this November's Batman TMNT Adventures.
Batman TMNT Adventures. Oh, hold on a second. So TMNT Adventures. So Nickelodeon cartoon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles television show
ever
in existence so far. What can they pair that up with? How are they going to have Dark Batman?
They have what was that? The Batman.
The Batman. True.
That was that the one with the Joker dreadlocks?
No, you're thinking of
Brave and Bold. No,
that
was
Brave
the
and
Batman.
Bold. That was right after. Oh, maybe it was the Batman. Which is
then
the one we just got? Beware the Batman.
Beware the Batman. That one was good, but I mean, I feel like Brave and Bold fits this turtle style a little bit better.
It does fit it pretty well, and that's probably what we would have gone with.
Probably.
If it weren't for the amazing fucking fact that Batman, the animated series, is going to be the universe they cross over with Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for an all-ages miniseries.
Yes.
Jim Lee had previously teased, like, it'd be great if we did another Batman TMNT series. So Kelly and I are thinking, okay, so Batman TMNT 2. We're thinking what they did with Star Trek Green Lantern, they're going to do with Batman and the Turtles. They said, no, Daniel. I know you like Batman TMNT.
We're going to make all your dreams come true.
And that Turtles comic is the best Turtle comics you've ever read. But we're going to give you the best version of Batman, which is Batman the Animated Series, and team them up with the best television show of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and give you a fucking miniseries. Here you go.
They're trying to seduce you. I don't know what they want from you. They're trying to seduce you.
This better do better than... The only way they could have done this better would be if it were the season 1 through 3 design of Batman the Animated Series. And it looks to be the new Batman Adventures that we're going to be getting instead, which I'm happy with whatever I get for Batman the Animated Series.
You want to know what they just did right here? I will tell you what they just did right here. They said young kids really like the Cartoon Network TMNT, so they're going to pick this up because they're going to see those characters. Yep, they're going to see those characters. And then they say, but those late 20s, early 30s something, they like Batman the Animated Series, so fucking throw him in there and they're going to pick this shit up too. 2 for 1, bitches!
no one fucking guessed that this was gonna happen. No one ever predicted.
I never would have guessed
that this was gonna fucking happen.
You could have. You know what? And I know you love Batman the Animated Series, and you hope forever that it would come back. But I was gonna tell you it's never gonna come back.
Are you still gonna tell me that it's never coming back? The TV show.
Now I feel like we have a little bit more hope.
There's a fucking shot right now.
Now I feel like we have a little more hope.
So, Brokettes, go out there and buy whenever this solicits. As soon as this goes in previews, tell your comic shop, I want 2 copies of every issue of Batman TMNT that comes out. Get yourself the main cover. Get yourself the variant. If there's a Kevin Eastman variant, get one of those.
Get
if there's
your
a
friends
Bruce
a
Timm
variant.
buy your friends an issue, because I want to see this do better than the original Batman, because it should. Because it's a better version of Batman.
Of course.
Batman the Animated Series. And then from here, we can tell DC with our sales numbers, like, here you go, we want more Batman the Animated Series. They can give us a Batman the Animated Series comic book again, get Ty Templeton back on the fucking book. He can do some more of that, because I mean, you can throw enough fucking money at him, he'll do it. And then from there, you adapt those comics into a television show for a fucking season 4 of Batman the Animated Series, while Kevin Conroy, while Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, Mark Hamill, Arlene Sorkin are still alive. Tara Strong can be Batgirl again, that's fine.
You know, they would make Tara Strong Harley, though. They would do it.
And that would be the blemish in season 4 of Batman the Animated Series. That'd be the worst part about it, and I'm okay with that. I will live with whatever it takes to get more BTAS.
We do have a quote here, though, which reads, "Bringing these characters back again and expanding Batman and the Turtles to the realm where they're most recognized by comic fans and fans of the TV series will make for a great story that any fan can't wait to read," said Hank Canals? Whatever. DC SVP of Editorial Strategy and Administration.
Whoever was in charge of this decision, fucking give him a raise. Give him a personal thank you from me.
From The Reasons I Broke.
From Aquaman. That's how I'm going to end up introducing myself, just to piss off more of these Instagrammers. Like, you don't look like him. No, I think I do. I really
look
do.
exactly like him. Like, we're pretty much twins.
Let us know what you think of the Batman TMNT comic book. It looks to be another miniseries. I believe it's going to be 6 issues again. I don't think they said. But however long it is, I'm just thrilled we're getting more of it.
So these were just some of the highlights from San Diego Comic-Con, the things that mattered to us.
The most important things.
If there's other things you saw that you want to talk about, you can hit us up on Twitter at ReasonsI'mBroke or at Palpakelly. We're happy to discuss them with you, or you can bring more things to our attention that maybe we missed that aren't as cool as these things, but might still be pretty cool.
There was a lot of news, too. Like, I kept checking in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night, and doing my best to, like, open tabs of, like, okay, I'm going to add this to the show notes later. I'm going to add this to the show notes. That's a Marvel thing. I don't really watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's cool, Defenders, and just continuing on. Oh, fucking Wonder Woman trailer. Oh, fucking Justice League trailer. Like, the massive things that we had to talk about.
I got a bone to pick with you about them, too.
I have a defense. Go ahead.
So, all the time, if I watch something without Daniel, he gets cranky pants because we got to watch it together. So I see these trailers pop up on my news feed on Facebook, and I said, no, Kelly, as much as you want to watch them, you will wait for Daniel. And then who goes and retweets it on Twitter and says, whoa, this was awesome.
Look, I saw them ahead of time because I was working at the comic shop.
Okay.
And the boss man told me, we're going to play these on the television right now because they just went up. And then the Justice League one just went up. I'm like, hey, Justice League trailer just went up if you want to play that one too. Like, everyone was in on this. And we had a crowd of people around the television watching the trailers. And I had to help them find the trailer so that we can all watch it. It's part of my job, Kelly.
You could have found the trailer and then not watched it.
I had to be on the sales floor. I can't leave the sales floor.
You didn't have to look at the TV. The TV's way up in the fucking sky.
It's not in the sky. It's like 2 feet above me.
It's a little bit higher than that. It's on the ceiling. Okay, in the fucking sky. Those are like 9-foot ceilings.
Job knowledge, Kelly. It's job knowledge.
Okay.
Have to watch it.
Or you
and I only saw it once. I could have seen it again. And the sound wasn't even good on the television. So I had to watch it later with you with full sound.
Watch them without me. I was being a nice spouse and waiting for you. And then the second after I scroll past it to wait for you, you post it on Twitter. I was betrayed. You betray me and I am the fool.
Final bit of news this week. It looks like we had the True Awards for comics.
Yes.
The Breisner Awards.
The Breisners. Mm-hmm.
And now we have the 2016 Eisner Award winners. And
Amateurs?
you know, it's an awards show that also, I mean, it came out after ours. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if people really care about the Eisners at this point because the Breisners are already out.
already happened.
We announced the Breisner Awards, the winners. Mm-hmm. Although they had a similar list.
Okay.
And we are going to tell you how correct they were in the decision of the winners from the categories that mattered.
All right, so first we're going to start out with Best Single Issue / One Shot. And the Eisner winner is Silver Surfer number 11 by Dan Slott and Mike Allred.
Did this align with the Breisner Awards?
Hell yeah, it did.
Well done, Eisners.
Good
you
job.
got this one correct.
You picked the right one.
The right choice. Congratulations.
Next, we have Best Continuing Series. This is Southern Bastards by Jason Aaron and Jason Latour.
And that is, of course, published by Image Comics. Mm-hmm. Did they get this one right?
No, they did not.
Wrong Eisner Awards. The right winners were Silver Surfer again.
Yes, of course. He is the winner for everything, almost.
It's okay. They got the better award.
Okay.
The Breisner Awards.
Yeah, of course.
Best New Series, chosen by the Eisner Awards, was Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang, also from Image Comics.
And this one they did get correct.
Well done, Eisners. I mean, you're coming back. You're not perfect. No one is.
Can I say, when I saw Paper Girls, I thought it said Palpa Girls. I was like, yes, that would be my comic. Palpa Girls.
Are those clones from Palpatine that are gender bent?
That'd be awesome. The Palpa Girls.
Palpa Girls. Is that a band?
But I want them to look exactly like Emperor Palpatine, like all crusty and stuff, but they have like bows or lipsticks, some pearls.
Some blush.
Yes.
Do they sound the same too? They have to sound the same. The Palpa Girls.
And I was on the phone with Becky the other day. And she's like, you'll never guess what Steven did. I love it. I want this to happen. Make it happen, somebody.
$1 million idea. Next category for the Eisners.
And this is Best Penciler / Inker Team. And the Eisner winner is Cliff Chang for Paper Girls.
Also wrong.
Also wrong.
Sorry, Eisners.
Not a bad choice.
No, we like Paper Girls.
But not the Breisner winner.
Not the true winner.
Correct. The true winner, true Breisner winner, is Michael Allred for Silver Surfer.
3 categories left. You still have a shot, Eisner Awards, to get this right. You can get a majority of them right. Let's see if they did.
We'll give you majority wins.
Best Painter / Multimedia Artist, Eisner's gave to Dustin Nguyen.
Yes.
For Descender, also from Image Comics. Obviously correct.
Obviously correct. Dustin Nguyen wins everything. If there was a Dustin Nguyen Silver Surfer, it'd be done. Next category we have is Best Cover Artist. And the Eisner winner is David Aja for Karnak and Scarlet Witch.
On the Marvel side.
On the Marvel side. And this was wrong.
Wrong as well, Eisners. Come on. The Breisner Award winner was Amanda Conner for Harley Quinn on DC Comics. What are you doing? It's not even close.
Not even close. Our next category and final category is Best Colorist.
So far, this is the chance to get a majority right or wrong. Come on, Eisners. People are counting on you. They look to the Breisners as the
definitive
like
the biggest awards in comics. It's clearly the Breisners. But the Eisner pick for Best Colorist, Jordi Belair for Pretty Deadly.
I don't even know who that is. They must have just made up a name.
I actually know who that is now. Did not make up a name. But still incorrect.
Oh, Eisners. The Breisner Awards gave it to Laura Allred on Silver Surfer, also from Marvel Comics. All right, summary on the 2016 Eisner Awards.
The Eisners got 3 out of 7 correct this year.
3 out of 7 correct. I don't know what I hope they're listening.
I hope so too.
Eisner Awards to hopefully correct their mistakes for next year. And I mean, they had the chance. They had a month and a half to get this right because we announced the Breisner Awards.
Them already.
Brokettes definitely knew ahead of time.
Yeah, they could have
these
just
are the winners.
written them down and kept going. But
just copy the answers.
But no,
it's as easy as can be. I don't know, Eisners. We're gonna check in on you next year.
Yeah.
When we have the 2017 Breisner Awards, and we'll give you another shot. But this year's 2016 Eisner Awards, majority wrong.
Guys, it does do it for our news this week. But before we get into our 2 comic book highlights, we do want to give our Patreon shout out of the week.
This week it goes out to Brian on Twitter at BrianShoop1. That's the number 1. Make sure to follow Brian on Twitter. And huge thanks for the Patreon support. And thanks to all of our listeners and, of course, our Patreon backers as we make our way to goal number 3.
What is goal number 3?
Goal number 3 is an all-new website revamp.
Cool.
So that would give us extra pages on the website.
My face everywhere?
We'll do like a 90s website where it's just like one image repeated completely.
Please.
With text the same color as the image.
Yes.
That way you have to highlight the text to be able to read it.
Sounds good. Can it be like those Angel Fire websites where it's got like
GeoCities?
Yes, where it's got like the cheesy music playing in the background too, and there has to be a spinny sparkly rose.
Sparkly rose, the skull if it was like a ghost site.
On fire too. There's got to be fire somewhere.
Oh my god, that takes me back.
It takes me back.
Like even the Pokemon.com site, there's like a time machine type of website. I'm so ignorant on that side of the internet, but you type in a website and it'll give you like a screenshot or an archive version of that website from like 1997. And the Pokemon one was very much like that, like super old looking, weirdo backgrounds. Everything had
That's what you did back in the 90s, early 2000s.
Those are going to be like cave drawings in the future. That's going to be what people look at. I mean, even, who knows, maybe even podcasts in the future are going to be like holograms with the listeners or the viewers and the...
See, I couldn't do that because then I'd have to put on makeup. Like, I have somebody all the time who's like, Kelly, you should just like video record your podcast. And I'm like, no, then I'm required to like do my hair and put on makeup.
That's like a whole... We'd have to have like a whole studio set up for that kind of thing. And we don't have the funds for that. We definitely don't have the time right now for that. But... even the unboxings like that, it may not look like it, but there's a lot of prep that goes to the unboxings as well. A lot of work.
I got to record things. Like, it's difficult, guys.
She's the camera person.
I am.
She's the cinematographer. She gets the shots in there.
I take the shots to Ace at the end. You guys better sit through the whole fucking video, see my dog at the end.
All the unboxings. At least most of them. There's in the back.
Yep.
All the way at the end.
All the way at the end. Being
Little
adorbs.
Ace.
Why is she so cute? She's in most of the videos, too. She likes to come up and try and eat your cards.
She can eat the slowpokes.
Yeah, that's fine.
So once again, if you do want your shout out on Patreon, head on over to patreon.com/thereasonsimbroke. There's also a link at thereasonsimbroke.com. For as little as $1 a month, that's a quarter an episode. On months where we have 4 episodes, you too can get your shout out.
Of course, guys, though, our podcast will always be free. The best thing you can do for us is let your friends know about us, leave us a comment on iTunes. It helps other people find us, and just interact with us through Twitter, through Facebook, whatever you're using to listen to us. And a little update in case you may have missed it earlier. We do have an interview coming up. That'll be in August. So that is part of the goal number 2 in which we reached Alphonic, but we also reached the ability to get a program in which we can record Skype calls. So we do have an interview coming up very, very soon. Definitely check out for that. If you're subscribed to the show, you're going to get it regardless. You also get the podcast early to any Patreon backers. Again, for as little as $1 a month, you get the Patreon, you get the show early. Sometimes it's a few hours early. Sometimes it's a few days early. So all of that is different based on when we record, when I can get around to edit it, and of course, how long the episode actually is. We do want to also thank DecalAvenue.com for the help at the $5 decal tier. And with that, guys, we are going to move into our comic book highlights of the week. First one we have is on the DC side. This is Batman number 3. It's written by Tom King with art by David Finch, and the colorist is Jordi Belair. There's your Jordi Belair. Holy shit. I did not see that coming. Boom. All right, Jordi Belair. Still not the right choice, but I guess congrats if you like. But you know it's not a made-up name now. They're all settling for the Eisners, really? I mean... They didn't win the Breisners. That's the only one that matters. No, they wanted it, but they just settled. Yeah, I said they didn't win it. Oh, I thought you said won it. No, they didn't win it. You really wanted to talk about Batman number 3. And if you're looking for the origin of Gotham and Gotham Girl,
it's going to be Batman number 3.
I really enjoy this book. I thought their origins were really interesting. We still have our hesitations. I still kind of believe that they're going to turn out not to be all good.
They're going to be corrupted by Gotham.
Of course.
They're an optimistic pair that have yet to be hardened by the tragedies in the city.
But I like their origin. I like that it's all because of Batman that they're trying to be better.
I was skeptical as well. I thought this was going to be a pair of superheroes that were in the disguise of trying to do best for the city. I thought there was going to be a story of them overpowering and doing a better job initially of what we thought of Batman and saving the people, saving the city. Of, oh, well, maybe they're better than I am. And like that moment of doubt in Batman's mind where he's just lesser than them and this is really their city because they're protecting it better than he can. We did not get that.
No.
Like instead there's doubt in these heroes because they're struggling and being heroes. They don't have that edge that Batman has. Like as one of them is holding up a bridge, he's doubting himself. Like, I can't hold this. Whereas Batman would say, well, I'm going to die holding this. That's it.
Right.
I'm just going to save as many as people can run across the bridge, and that's it.
I think what we're going to see from these characters is that their motivation for wanting to save the city is Batman. Batman's motivation for wanting to save the city is, this is my fucking city and I need to save it. Like, if I'm not here to save it, nobody will. So it's these two characters are still very young, and I think we're going to have a very touching moment at the end where they realize that they're not really cut out for this, and Batman's going to give them that whole, like, you know, you have to be willing to die for this city like I am, because if you're not going to die for it, who will?
Next comic book highlight is an all-new number 1, which is Betty and Veronica number 1. It's written, and it also has art by Adam Hughes. Love Adam Hughes. He was actually at MegaCon this year. Colors by Jose Villarrubia.
There was a lot of words in this book.
Very wordy book.
And that usually scares me. I get very tired when I see a lot of word bubbles. I'm like, let me... but I pushed through, and it was very interesting. It was a very fun book to follow. I don't think I like it as much as the main Archie series.
I agree.
But it still kind of keeps the same tone as that one.
Yeah, if you like the Archie universe, if you like Jughead, if you like Archie, don't miss out on Betty and Veronica. It's just I guess it's not a miniseries. It's going to be an ongoing, just like the older Betty and Veronica books were. This is technically considered volume 3 of the series. But it is an all-new number 1 and an all-new series, so don't feel like you're missing out if you never read the originals, because this is a reboot of the Archie universe. And yeah, it is very solid. The first issue kind of has you pulling for Betty initially, and I'm sure it's going to change later on as the story progresses. And with the art by Adam Hughes, who I don't know if it's going to continue because it's Adam Hughes, who knows. But so far, it's a beautiful first issue. I still would have liked the colors by Hughes himself, but then this book would have come out for another 6 months. And otherwise, they did a really solid job. You did say it was really wordy, and they even make fun of that at one point in the book. So if you like the Archie universe, you do not want to miss out on this.
Agreed.
And that does do it for our comic book highlights this week. The last bit that we're going to cover is, as traditional, our movie review. And for this week, it's Batman the Killing Joke, the animated adaptation of that classic Alan Moore story. And we are going to have spoilers of this. Yes, there is a book that has been out for years, so it's sort of not spoiling, but then again, we have all new material from Bruce Timm and the rest of the crew at WB Animation that would be spoiling the movie for you. So if you don't want to listen in on any of this, have a great week. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
And don't forget, this movie will be coming out on Blu-ray and DVD August 2nd. So very close for you guys to be able to pick up your own, and then you can watch it, and then you can come back and listen to what we said about it.
Ignore the digital copy. You want to own the physical copy.
Of course you do.
For the true Batman the Killing Joke fan.
So we did get to go see this movie in theaters. It released as a Fathom event for one night only. On my birthday, bitches. Yeah!
They even extended it to a 2-night later on.
Like, oh, did they really?
Yeah, like that same week of release. They're like, a second night, right here. You buy more tickets.
Well, yeah, because they sold so many tickets.
According to Box Office Mojo, the animated film grossed a total of $3.1 million.
Shit! That's awesome.
For the night of July 25th.
That's amazing. Batman the Killing Joke only played on an estimate 1,325 screens.
Best movie that Monday. It did more money than Ghostbusters that day, and It had less screens than any of that. So good job, Batman the Killing Joke. Hopefully this means that they're going to bring more DC movies to Fathom Events.
Mm-hmm. So this was a very, very dark movie.
Of course.
It was rated R. But they did have to expand on the book a lot.
Yes.
Or else it would have been a 30-minute movie. 25 minutes.
Yeah, the book itself, The Killing Joke, is a short one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like they rushed through the Killing Joke portion of it. But it does open in following Barbara Gordon around, because she is the one character that is changed the most in the progression of the Killing Joke, and a character that we see turn into Oracle eventually in main DC continuity. So in this case, we are following a very young Barbara Gordon as she comes across her own quote-unquote Joker, a character that is different than any other criminal that has operated with Batman and Barbara. And even Batman warns her about this and says, I've gone against criminals like this. I don't want you on the case. And you're reading into this like, of course, it's the Joker. It's someone that is not going to act in a traditional sense. It's not going to be someone you could just knock out.
Someone that's not scared of them.
Someone, exactly. They're not afraid of you. And they're going to twist everything that you believe in and try to get under your skin. They're going to push you to the edge of wanting to put them away permanently. And not in Arkham, not at an asylum, not in prison. And this character, this all-new character, does push Barbara to that point by the end of this mini episode or this mini story that eventually transitions into the more familiar Killing Joke.
I didn't have a problem with the first half of it. I understand why it was there. I think it really brought a lot of feeling to the character of Barbara, so you felt even more for her when it finally got to that climax of, oh shit, like all that is gone, from her. I will say the two pieces of the movie did feel very separate.
Yes.
And that could be because the first half was actually pretty light and the second half was dark as fuck.
Could also be that we know the story of the Killing Joke already. So I'm very curious to see this movie from the perspective of someone that isn't familiar with the Killing Joke. If this did flow as one big story for them, or if this did feel like a separation once you got to the Joker portion of it. Another reason I felt like they expanded on Barbara was because if you just read The Killing Joke alone, readers know who Barbara is, who Batgirl is. But if you're just reading it as is, you're like, who is this? I know it's Commissioner Gordon's daughter, but why does this matter to Batman? Or why would this affect Batman? And not only did they expand on, okay, this is how they operate together, this is the relationship between Batman and Batgirl, but they also have there's a love connection there. And as we were watching it, a bunch of audience members, probably half of it went, whoa, what? Ew, that's creepy. What? I don't remember that from the book. And I'm just sitting here like, did you guys watch Batman the Animated Series? Did
Clearly
you watch
not.
Batman Beyond? Bruce Timm produced this, right? Like, where are the Batman the Animated Series fans in here? Because I'm used to that shit. I'm like, oh yeah, Barbara and Batman, yeah. Like, that's the definitive Batman universe. So, of course that happened.
Yeah, and it's funny because my dad actually brought that up to me today. So Dad didn't even go to see the movie, but it's all over the internet. So I'm sitting on the couch and my dad's on his iPad and he goes, so you saw that Batman movie, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, Batman and Batgirl have sex? And I'm like, whoa, Dad, what are you asking me? So yes, that happened. And then I had to explain to him. And I think the disconnect with a lot of people is they always kind of view Batman as kind of a father figure.
That's
Barbara.
what my sister told me too.
Yeah, and that's what my dad told me. He goes, I thought it was like a mentor, or father, daughter, brother, sister kind of thing. And I was like, well, there's different versions, of course. They're going with the Batman the Animated Series version, where
the definitive Batman anything.
Yes, but I can see why people have a problem with it, because if you've always saw Batman as a father figure to Barbara, yeah, that's not cool. Did we have a problem with it? No, but we read enough books and watch enough things that I feel like it's very easy for us to accept different things as different universes, as different stories that are being told.
And they even hinted at that relationship before we even got the scene of Batman and Barbara Gordon having sex. She was talking to her friend about it. Like, I have this guy that I'm seeing, and they're hinting at it. It's like, okay, well, we know what this is going to lead up to. And the fact that they do have that close relationship, well, here's something that you may want to comment on. A lot of the major feminist sites really hate this movie. People like Gail Simone want nothing to do with The Killing Joke, just from the initial thing of it.
Right.
And they do compliment Alan Moore for saying, I regret crippling Barbara Gordon. I regret the violence that we did to Batgirl. But with that aside, the Batgirl that we see in this is a very young, naive Batgirl. It is the story of someone growing up, someone getting to learn more about what it means to be in a relationship with someone like Batman. And yeah, in turn, that does make it about the male protagonist. But I think it also showcases and shows a very sensitive side that we don't see too often with Batgirl. And that this relationship that she's fostered with Batman, neither of them know how to handle it.
I don't know. This is hard for me. From a feminist point of view, yes, I probably could see fault with the movie. I don't see fault with them crippling Barbara at all, because she became Oracle, who is a great fucking strong-ass female character. Like, she may be in a wheelchair, but there's so much she can do that the male characters in that universe could never do.
That's true, but that wasn't because of Alan Moore saying, okay, well, then she becomes Oracle.
Well, right, of course, but I mean, his actions led up to that, essentially. So I wouldn't... He may not have done it for feminist reasons, but that doesn't mean I can't sit there and say, because of your actions, it led to this amazing thing.
It's kind of like something sprouting out of the ashes. Maybe someone even picking up the pieces and saying, well, let's see what we can work with in this. And then they did a good job in making an Oracle. And you do get to see that in The Killing Joke as well, which was really nice. It was kind of a good roundabout way of finishing off Barbara's story. But more importantly, the heart of The Killing Joke, the awful thing that the Joker does, because it is Joker is not a character that has any kind of preference to sex, religion, race. Does not care at all about who you are. May come at you violently, may come at you completely as a friend. And that's what makes Joker the worst kind of villain and person, because there is no kind of anything that's going to hold him back.
Right.
He's not going to think twice of what will others think or what am I. None of that matters to the Joker. It's just action, and it's all very premeditated and planned action. It's not chaos as a lot of people like to think. It's incredibly planned, and that's what makes it scary, because from months ahead of time, he knows how certain people are going to react, how Batman's going to react, and going back to the relationship with Batgirl and Batman, that's going to push Batman even more. Not only going after Gordon, but then crippling Barbara, who we just saw this relationship with, is incredibly heavy on both the characters. And it almost makes you frightened for the Joker. Like, what have you done, Joker? You know what kind of wrath Batman is going to bring upon you?
It's been years since I actually read this story, but I feel like they followed it very, very closely. And in the end, we actually get kind of a mini documentary on how they did the music, and they even said that there's some panels that they tried to pull straight out of the book, which was exactly the right move to make. That's exactly what they needed to do.
It was a very faithful adaptation. If you didn't like the bonus material that we got out of it, if you wanted this to be a 30-minute short, they're going to break it up into chapters, and by the time the Killing Joke portion of it starts, you can fast forward to chapter 3 on the Blu-ray, whatever it may be, and you can just watch the Killing Joke portion. I still like the entirety of it. I do like the weight that it adds to both characters. I do like the sincerity that they had in adapting these. I think Batman The Dark Knight Returns is a better version of a movie brought to life from a comic book. But this is still done incredibly well, especially when you have the original voices from Batman the Animated Series returning for this. And if anyone was going to do it, it had to be these actors. It couldn't have been done with anyone else. And the final thing I do want to touch up on is those small changes. You can't fault it. I mean, you're always going to have the book. If you don't like the adaptions, those are not going away. You can enjoy the originals. If you want to see what an adaptation feels like or what it looks like, absolutely check it out. I do recommend watching Batman The Killing Joke if you're a fan of the original novel. If you did not like the original novel, if you felt that it was too violent, it was too dark, you didn't like that they gave the Joker, they retold the Joker origin in this, then you're not going to like the movie either, because it is that much of an adaptation of the original work with the extra scenes, with the extra stuff. The ambiguous ending to Batman kills the Joker. One, he does not. They've already come out with the original script, and they're like, I don't know why people think that Batman chokes the Joker. But in this one, they kind of extend that and make it more ambiguous than the book, because they know people think like, fucking Grant Morrison said on this show. No, he had nothing to do with it. He didn't even work on the book. It's two crazy people sharing a laugh, and that's kind of the whole point of the story. But in this version, they do make it a little bit more mysterious. Like, oh, maybe Batman is.
Maybe he did.
Which he didn't, because then we get that scene of Oracle at the end. Okay, so Batman's not crazy, because he would have locked himself up if he ever fucking murdered anyone or would have stopped being Batman. So that wouldn't have happened either. So it's just two crazy people sharing a laugh and ending a story, and just like we got in the comic book. So all of that is still in there. Slight changes to the ending, slight changes to some of the animation, some of the colors, but overall, a very, very solid project.
However, as much as we enjoyed it, not everyone did.
Last bit of Nerd Rage reaction. Quote, Azzarello, he's actually the one who wrote the screenplay treatment of this. Azzarello comes across as clueless on how to write any woman whatsoever. Barbara is nothing more than a clueless bimbo who fawns over Bruce. She has little depth. The characterization is miles off, and Kevin Conroy is phoning it in.
Were we watching the same movie?
I'm not sure. I don't know what they were.
I don't know.
Look, there were one or two lines that as I was watching, I'm like, Kevin Conroy could have read that a little bit differently. Maybe we could have gotten a different line reading. Some of the inflections were a little bit off. Near the beginning, when he says, he tells Barbara that he needs to be alone with one of the criminals, but he says it more sing-songy. Like, he's like, I need to be alone. I'm like, no. Batman needs to say, I need to be alone. Like, more demanding, more cold, straightforward. It's always a little bit weird when Kevin's Batman is more, like, playful, and I don't think that fits with Batman quite as much. And it's very rare that Kevin Conroy delivers that way, and we got one of those in this. But aside from that, like, the worst thing I can say about this movie is some of the animation could have been a little bit tighter. I don't know. Did you think that Batgirl was not treated as well as she could have? Given the source material, how much more could you have really expanded?
Right, and I mean, here's the thing. She is very young in this. She is learning all this stuff for the very first time. You know, she's in college, and we're not going to get the same level of maturity from her that people are used to. And this is a girl going through love, probably for the first time, and having to deal with the rejection that comes from that, particularly because it's Batman. And I think her reaction to that is very realistic. It's not something that people like to see.
Right.
Particularly from a character that's supposed to be strong, is supposed to be, you know, this role model for you. But I think it makes her very human.
Exactly.
And I personally didn't have a problem with it. I could see why other people would, because it is uncomfortable.
She went through growth by the end of that little segment. And you see that in her giving up Batgirl, because she understands that Batman's not going to be with her. That relationship's never going to be the same, which shows great maturity and growth in that character as well. So it is in there. So I don't know if they missed that part or they just didn't hone in on it. And I think the portion of that beginning part that got to me the most was as she's beating up Paris France. Is that his name?
Paris France.
And she's enraged, telling him, "You ruined everything." And as you mentioned on the car ride home, is ironically she was also the one who ruined everything, just from the naive portion of someone who is growing, someone who is probably in her first really serious relationship, and with that, someone a little bit older than her, probably a little over 10 years older than herself.
Yeah, it did. It showed a lot of growth for Batgirl, and I think if she hadn't gone through that, I think if she had still been Batgirl at the time that the incident happened, I don't know that she could have bounced back like she did.
So that about wraps it up, listeners, for our Batman the Killing Joke review. Again, we do recommend it. We have it pre-ordered. We're buying it. Not canceling that. I cannot wait to own it on home video. Let us know if you watched Batman the Killing Joke and what you thought of it. And also what you thought of the podcast overall. We're always taking feedback. We're going into the 200s now for the episodes. So we're always looking for ways to improve.
You can let us know all of this and more on our Twitter at Reasons I'm Broke. We're also up on Facebook. But for everywhere you can find us, you can go to thereasonsimbroke.com. It lists all the places we are on podcasts and all the social media you can hit us up on.
So huge thanks, Brocats, for tuning in, for the constant support. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
We'll see you next week.